Hello, I'm Jean Turner. I'm a retired teacher and I've lived here in Garrard County most of my life. I raised a family here. I spent my entire 30-year teaching career here. I graduated here. And as a result, I love this county. I love the people in it. One thing that saddened me as a teacher was when I realized that most of my students, along with their families, didn't know the history of our county. And because they didn't know the history, they couldn't appreciate all the richness that our county had to offer. What can we do to remedy this? And I thought, well, I'm a visual learner. I like to see pictures. It helps me to retain information. So why not do what a lot of other towns have done? Why not have a historical mural? And I thought, what can I do? How do I get started? I don't know anything about developing a mural, especially one that large a project. Had no money, no artist, no place to do something that large. Where do I get started? Then I thought, who better to help than other teachers? So I invited all the teachers who were art teachers in the county, and we began brainstorming.
In 2008, Jean Turner approached me and several other art teachers in the district about doing a professional development with our children about the historical mural project.
I think it was my second year of teaching, so that would have been the 2007-2008 year. She got in touch with me about if I was interested in joining this. I was really excited about it, and I thought it would do a lot for the culture and for the aesthetic in Garrard County. I thought it would bring a lot to the architecture and everything. So yeah, I was really excited to get on board with her.
I first got involved in the mural project when Jean Turner contacted me and wanted to get the schools involved in this. Mary Scott. I am the former art teacher at Camp Dick Robinson Elementary School.
Our school district let us begin to use professional development days to develop our lesson plans and to help other teachers incorporate history and art in those plans. We even sponsored a children's art contest where students could suggest what they'd like to see in the murals.
I thought that would be something that would be a lot of great experience for students to kind of see how art can play into all these different aspects of, I guess, life in some ways, like outside of education, outside of school. It's also part of community and, I guess, volunteering and stuff like that. So yeah, I was really excited about it.
So the students went home and talked to their parents, their grandparents, and anyone they could to help give them ideas on what Garrard County was all about.
We invited Margaret Simpson with the Garrard County Historical Society to come into the classrooms and teach the children about Garrard history. And we also took them to the Historical Society so they could do research on their own.
Each of the teachers took their classes on mini field trips, I guess, to the Historical Society, and they kind of went through a bunch of different historical things that happened in Garrard County. And then they were to come up with their own designs or their own ideas of what a mural could look like. Yes, Carrie Nation. She was one of the favorites for, I would say, my younger classes, probably the intro to art classes, to draw her because they had a lot of fun drawing her with her axes.
The student art contest was evaluated on historical accuracy, on visual quality, and we had a competition K through 12 of different student works, and we chose winners to help be a part of the inspiration for the Garrard County mural.
I remember when we went to judge the pictures, we had them all laid out, and it was really hard to come up with some winners.
They had some good pictures.
Yes, they did. We had a lot of duplicates, you know, which was great because they were thinking alike. The students were so excited to be part of this project. They knew that their designs were going to be part of history, Garrard County's history.
Along with the student contribution, Jean Turner, myself, Ms. Schaefer, and Ms. Scott put in a lot of research into our county's history, which I find the most fascinating. Like most students now, they feel like Garrard County doesn't have much to offer, but as we started researching, I was very surprised to find out how unique and interesting and fascinating Garrard County history is.
Once our plans were in place, we needed an artist. We needed a really good artist. I did not know Molly Crow. I got a phone call from her, and she had brought her daughter and family to stay at my bed and breakfast. I didn't make the connection. I had wanted to meet James and had wanted some way of contacting him, and Molly came several times. We talked. I loved her from the start. Finally, one day she said, "Can my husband come in and see your bed and breakfast?" She said, "Jim would just, he loves old houses and he would just love to come see it." And all of a sudden it clicked. James Crow, Jim Crow. And I said, "Is your husband an artist?" And she said, "Yes." And that was the beginning of a beautiful relationship. I not only loved Molly, but I loved James. His sweet spirit and his patience and his kindness. And without him, we wouldn't have been able to develop these murals.
But Jean Turner, we met her through our daughter from Alabama who had been in town and stayed at her bed and breakfast. And I guess she had heard of me and was looking for someone to help with her idea for the murals. But it took a lot of planning. We did several studies before we just arrived at one, and then I did a complete study, a finished study that we made prints off of, and I guess we're still selling prints to help raise money for the other murals.
He caught the dream along with the teachers and myself. He graciously agreed to help us in developing these murals.
Yeah, I mean, when he first brought it into the meeting and he showed us the sketch, I was just like, oh, this is going to be amazing. And we were all just jumping for joy that it was coming together, and yeah, really, really excited about it.
Well, once we had the conception, we had Jean was trying to find a place where we could paint the mural. Part of the original idea was to include art students and other artists from the area in helping do some of the preliminary work on the mural. And so we were looking for a place that we could use to set up and involve a number of people. And it became, after, I think it was almost 2 years from the time the study was done before I actually started the mural, and that was because we couldn't find an adequate place, and the art center was not completed then. So rather than waiting longer, I decided to paint it in my living room, and from there I spent a lot of time doing the scale drawings from the study to the 8-foot by 12-foot size the mural is. And I did them on tracing paper in 3-foot sections. And once I had the panels in place, then that was a matter of arranging them on the panel and tracing down the drawings. And then again, I approached it as I approach most of my paintings, with an neutral underpainting, and then a build-up of colors. In cases where I couldn't find any reference, I created my own. And for instance, I had my son pose for the painting of the Indian in the center of the mural. That was in the dogs. I used my daughter's dog for the model, and we had him off at a distance and had him run toward me, and I snapped pictures of him as he ran toward me. And so there was some improvisation because there were areas, a lot of areas that we didn't have anything to work from. And it took about a year to paint it. So the living room was, everything was moved out of it, and put down plastic cover over the floors, and it took up one whole wall in the living room actually.
Once the painting was completed, it was wonderful. Just the feeling of going in and seeing it for the first time, seeing the completion. Each layer I kept thinking, how is this going to get any better? But with each layer, the richness came through, and it did. It kept getting better and better and better.
I mean, I don't really have words because it just, yeah, it looks fantastic. And it's exciting that it's from Garrard County. The talent is from Garrard County and staying in Garrard County, and the fact that James Crow was willing to donate his time and his talent in the way that he did was just, I mean, so generous, and he's a really, really great guy. So yeah, I think it'll really bring some pride to the area.
And I remember McKinley Daly saying, this is a treasure. This is a treasure that has to be protected. And that's true. I call James Crow our hidden treasure here in Garrard County, and he has developed a treasure for us. We had only planned on doing one mural. Because we found so much history, we knew we could no longer just plan and put it all in one. So we decided to do the historical paint lick mural, which is our first. The second one will be Lancaster. Then we will do Camp Dick, and then Buckeye areas. We have already started research on those and are communicating with historians around the county who will contribute to what goes into those murals.
Now, I do hope that in the future that all the schools will be involved in this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is the county that these students live in. They're, they start from preschool on up, and this is something that they can go out the door, drive down the road and go, hey, I helped design that. I remember when I did that.